Alright, thank you very much. Hello everybody, it's your good friend Pozzible here, and I'm back with another anime review of a interesting anime TV show, but I have to admit, guys, this one is purely not for children. It's definitely rated R. It's Qwaser of Stigmata. Where's my rated R button? I thought I put this beforehand. Oh, anyway. Qwaser of Stigmata is definitely rated R, because you have to understand how this particular one works. In Qwaser, you have, in season 1, you have Alexander. He is the hero slash anti-hero. He is, that hero with the rough edge that people like to put out sometimes. He's the good guy. He is an iron user. Now, he is part of this group of people that can bend the elements. And so if you guys like chemistry, if you like the periodic tables, then this is the show for you, because you learn about all the tricks of how iron, chlorine, sulfur, salt, stuff like that, it gets manipulated, and it's actually pretty fun. It's actually, dare I say, educational. But with that being said, guess how they power up? Well, in order to power up, they need soma. They drink a lot of soma, and then they're powered up for battle. What is soma? This is not an exaggeration, people. It's breast milk, okay? So yeah, so obviously he has to rip off a girl's shirt, drink the soma, then he can fight. He is so lucky that the bad guys are so patient, waiting for him to power up so that he can beat them up. Call me crazy, but if I was a bad guy from this era, I would actually, while he was trying to power up, just attack them. He's not ready, so why not just attack? They did kind of cover that in the second season. They did kind of, he was powering up while moving because the other guy was attacking him. Now, everyone gets their own power, like Alexander here. He is a iron user. So anytime he touches iron, he can control the element to do whatever he wants, whatever his bidding is. He can do it. You get some bad guys. These bad guys in season 1 are after some bizarre Maria thing, okay? I kind of got an impression of what it was. I'm not going to say it, of course, not because that's a spoiler. But they're after this Maria thing, so it's his job to protect it. There he meets 2 girls, he befriends them, and they're in high school. So you got the bratty leader, the lead cheerleader princess villain, sort of, who is more comic relief than anything else. And then the season falls apart. And that's one of my biggest complaints with this series. They have a great start, and then they just totally fall apart. To give you an idea, after a climactic battle, Alexander goes from being this badass boy to being this gender-troubled individual who is clearly, dare I say, 8 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, something like that. And people are being very perverted towards Alexander at this time. He also lost his memory. Okay, it was an intense battle, so he is helpless for like 4 episodes, 4 of the most painless, pointless, stupidest episodes I've ever seen in my life, and it borderlined on being gross. It really borderlined on being gross, because I just couldn't get why they had to do this to him. Thank God they brought him back sooner rather than later. I was about to give up on the whole show. And then he gets back being to what it should be, which is really enjoyable. One reason I was really upset about that segment was because it was a lost opportunity. You have this guy who lost his memory. You did not have to change him back and totally wonder what was his real gender all of a sudden. Was he a boy or was he a girl? Nobody was sure. Not even the show was sure. Not even I was sure. All I know is kind of disgusting the way people were treating him. It's like, dude, it's a baby, That's why I say this show is rated R. The nudity, the concepts alone, it gets into some really dangerous territory on this episode and this show. That said, when it comes to this show, they got back and they had their climactic battle. All is well and good, which brings us to season 2. Season 2 was a complete change of pace. In season 2, Alexander is now teamed up with this other girl, and they are investigating in school, trying to find this other special machine. The machine actually gets implanted in a person, and it gives you special power, special abilities, stuff like that. It's covered more in the first season than in the second season. Here, they just know they need to find it before the bad guys do, so they go looking for it. That was the first half of it. Then the second half came around, and it was all random episodes. You know what I'm talking about. When you see certain shows, you can tell that there are plot-specific shows, that a whole season has a specific theme to it, and then, for no reason at all, there is just this filler episode. It's a standalone episode, means nothing in the big picture. And it was so upsetting that they filled the rest of the season with just those kind of episodes. They had no meaning, no purpose, and they borderlined on annoying. And when it came to season 2, they finally, at the end, came back. In the last season, they started reintroducing elements of a bigger story, of a conspiracy, and then it just ended on its cliffhanger. And from what I understand, it never came back. And season 3, I really have doubts they're going to have season 3 because they just fell apart in season 2. Kind of like they fell apart in season 1. So because this show has that policy of falling apart, I cannot give it a see it. It has to get a decide. It has its ups and it has its downs. It's a roller coaster of a show, which didn't have to be. It had potential. It had a lot of what you want in a show. It had the fan service, it had the badass villain, it had the climactic battles between elements that a person could say, well, because you're using tungsten, well, tungsten is powerful, but it's brittle. I'm using iron, and iron has these weaknesses. So like I said, it's actually somewhat educational. I enjoyed it, but then it really got bad. And then it got good again. And so because of that, it gets to decide. Look more into it. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not for you, but we'll see. As for me, I'm going to take off now. We'll catch you later.